What would you say the need is here serving Mexicans who live in southern Arizona and primarily Pima County?
Our consular work here, it's very diverse because our community here is very diverse. First, we have a thriving community here, socially, economically, very well integrated. And that community might need some services, for instance, some documents, the ability or do some notary acts that they need for their business back in Mexico, and that is very important. But we also are part of a very dangerous and risky migratory route. And so people who are here trying to do that migration, sometimes they present a lot of damages when they come here, and they are in a very vulnerable situation. So I would say that we need to compartmentalize the services that we provide here, and at the same time taking advantage of all the good spirit that we have found traditionally in Tucson, because there are a lot of very strong alliances. So with all these alliances, we can actually provide different services.
How has the pandemic affected Mexican nationals who live here in this region, but also individuals who have dual citizenship? I mean, there are restrictions at the ports of entry that limit their travel.
Exactly, that's a very important part, because the borders, you might know, since March 20 has been closed for non-essential trips. But non-essential trips might mean that you are not able to see your mother, your father, your grandparents that are living across the border. So I think for our health needs, for our emotional welfare, that has affected a part of our communities, especially for those who have this very active binational life.
Economically and health-wise, the pandemic has had an impact on the state of Sonora, where you are from. It's a state of about 3,027,000 confirmed coronavirus cases thus far. How has that challenged the state that's immediately south of Arizona?
A lot of our communities on the border depend on the crossing of people from one side or the other. It's like it is estimated that only Sonorans spend $1 billion in Tucson by the year, and that has not been possible right now because shopping is not part of the essential activities. So for the communities here in the U.S., that has been a challenge. Of course, on the other side of the border, it is the same, like tourism and family visits and a lot of economic activities in the border towns have been actually very restricted.
In your opinion, are Americans taking the virus seriously enough because they continue to travel? Many Americans continue to visit places in Sonora.
Yes, there has been an influx of people who can actually, and they are going to be allowed to Mexico, and they are going to be allowed back to the U.S. I think it is important for us to really have the judgment to say that we can actually risk our families or our communities by crossing the border. Of course, we have sometimes essential trips to do, and it's important that we follow the suggestions of the authorities. And there's still more that we can do, and to be more strict because of the circumstances require us to be more strict right now. Yeah.
And finally, Consul, what would you like people to know about you and your role serving the Mexican community here in this region moving forward?
We want to have, and we will have, because that's the instruction of our president, like to have an open door and it's a human face to the services we provide. And what I want to know is, like, for all the Mexican nationals and also for the Mexican American communities in Pima and Pinal counties, that we want to improve those relationships. We want to serve you better, and we are here to do that. It's not just because I want to do it, it's because it's my obligation, but it is also my pleasure. I'm a career diplomat because I wanted to serve my country through the interests of their nationals, and I am here with the privilege of being able to do so.
Okay, Consul Barceló Durazo, thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine, and un saludo for everyone.